I worked on writing this piece called I'm a Millennial with a Disability. I'm a millennial and I'm in my mid 30s where I have a disability, which is autism, including a learning disability, along with some cognitive disability. Being a millennial with a disability has many challenges in life, in society, and even on the job. I have worked for almost 10 years, and in my job, it wasn't easy for me. It's not easy working in a job with my disability, where my cognitive disability affects me in the workforce. Like it's hard for me to go fast at a certain fast pace when doing a task. It takes me a long time to understand how to do the task efficiently. And if I don't do well at these tasks at a certain pace, many people would get upset with me. In my 10 years of my work, I've dealt where I have lost jobs due to no fault of my own, but I had to keep going. It's a big struggle to have a disability in a workplace because there aren't too many advocates of people with disability rights in the working industry, or sometimes there isn't much that I can do, despite doing the best as I can to be a good worker. It's hard for me to ask for help when I struggle with my disability in the workplace because I feel ashamed, scared, and confused because I don't want to deal with the bad politics of the job where the top bosses try to make me feel uncomfortable as a worker. All I can do in these situations on the job is to try my best to work hard, attempt to build better working relationships with coworkers and supervisors, including a boss that I like. Work on saving money in advance just in case if I lose a job again or if I can't work. It's hard to talk to people about the struggles on the job with a disability because maybe many people think I'm just a Debbie Downer or a complainer. I want to try to ask for Social Security insurance or Social Security disability due to my challenges in a workplace with a disability, but I'm afraid to ask for it because I will be likely denied or feeling ashamed for asking for some help. It's hard for me to be in society or in social groups or to even feel comfortable about having friends because I get bullied or put down by other people for being different or not meeting their standards. Also, in social settings, I struggle to figure out how to communicate my thoughts in different social settings, how to try to write a perfect email if I need to send an email to somebody where a person can understand what I'm saying. And I have trouble understanding what people are saying when I try my best to listen or to follow a conversation. It's a challenge when some people have high standards on me wanting to meet their expectations in society. All I can do is record my voice to a computer to help me process my thoughts, have it read back to me, and then edit it. I do this to help me organize my thoughts, improve my speech, and to better understand how speech works. Also, I use closed captions, including subtitles, when watching TV, movies, YouTube, and documentaries to understand how to learn conversations, retain facts, improve on vocabulary usage, and even expand on knowledge. When it comes to social media, I kind of lost interest in social media because it changes everybody, including myself. What I am trying to say is that social media is getting worse, where people who I know on a compare on how many likes or comments they get. They use these platforms as a way to put me down, including not wanting to appreciate me for trying my best to do good and getting hateful messages almost all the time. Also, it is difficult to communicate with people on messaging on these platforms because it has glitches or many times people ignore, including ghost my messages. When it comes to social media, It's hard for me to post on there because I could be put down or other people can get negative at me for posting something even though it isn't controversial. When it comes to social media, I work on trying to find a way to reduce my use of it. For example, I try to put myself on a time limit on how much I spend time scrolling on it, block or disconnect from people who are mean to me, and create a time schedule of when I want to use social media or if I want to post something. Also, in my approach on my vision of what social media should be is to be kind to other people, be appreciative of people who I know or who I care about, who work hard in life or on their creativity, and sending good thoughts, including positive vibes, to people who have struggles. The only strategy is when it's hard for me to communicate on social media messaging. The best thing that I can do is ask for an email or a cell phone for a text as a better way to reach me, despite people being objective about other ways to communicate. When it comes to people in general, I feel burned out, confused, and depressed because I deal with the negativity of people getting hard on me. And when people use bad politics as a way to put me down, even though I try my best to be a good person. The thing that I can do is to brainstorm on myself and what does it mean to be a good person. My definition slash answer of what does it mean to be a good person is it's good to be kind to other people, be compassionate, including understanding of other people when they have struggles. Use critical thinking as an advantage to learn things or to understand different situations. And be mindful of other people that I'm around. Also, when it comes to being a good person, I want to be a good listener and be supportive of people who I care about. I'm trying to find ways to be part of the community because in my previous experience of doing different volunteering work, I had faced many challenges where my cognitive disability affected me at trying to do a task, which caused many other volunteers to get mad at me for struggling. I found a new volunteering group where I work with other volunteers in a small community group on helping feed homeless people, including people who are low income. For about 6 years, I like doing this because I like to take the time to learn how to understand teamwork by working with other volunteers, expand on critical thinking to understand ways to help people, and having a good leader of the volunteering group named Glenn, who is very kind and understanding of me when I struggle with my disability. Also, volunteering with this group teaches me the importance of being kind to other people and helping people when they face struggle is a good thing in life. In society, another thing that I struggle is to try to understand different changes that is happening in society or when people have different definitions of what does it mean to be a good person or people with different personalities. I know in society that we all can't be the same and that we live in a diverse society. It's a big struggle when people get judgmental at me, when they feel like I'm not a good person, even though I'm trying my best, and navigating people who have different personalities. It's not easy to understand people's different personalities. It takes a lot of time to figure out how to understand them. The best strategy that I work on is when I notice someone has an angry face or is easily frustrated about something. I like to be extra mindful of being near them and giving them extra space. Also, when it comes to people getting harsh about if I'm not a good person or use ways to put me down, the best thing that I can do is to remind myself that being a good person is working hard, being kind to other people, being compassionate along with understanding of people who have different struggles, find ways to improve myself and willing to find strategies to help me understand different things or to even educate myself. Those are the main definitions that I can best think of. When dealing with harsh criticism or when people don't think I'm a good person, the best thing that I can do is to remain quiet, not argue with them, and don't talk back. There are times I feel like I have to justify on how I'm trying my best to be a good person to many people. That gets hard on me, but it doesn't work. When I deal with this type of form of negativity or harsh criticism, I feel guilt, shame, confused about myself if I really if I'm really a good person when I struggle with my disability. Also, what makes me sad is when I hear many people, educational leaders, and public officials talk about diversity, equity, and inclusion, but they don't want to talk about bringing people with disabilities into the conversation or aren't supportive of people with disability rights. This makes me sad when I hear these people do these type of behaviors because as a millennial with a disability, I have faced some form of discrimination, including other barriers. People with disabilities are diverse in many ways, and people with disabilities shouldn't face any forms of discrimination. My thoughts of diversity, equity, and inclusion is that I strongly believe that people who are different, gender, people with disabilities, people with mental health struggles, people from different orientation, and people with different skills should be accepted into society, social settings, education, and jobs without any forms of discrimination. What is really difficult in these days is watching some news media, crime drama TV shows, and politicians from both political parties where they encourage people to not be supportive of people with disability rights and to stereotype people with disabilities as bad people. It's hard to watch these things on TV because it breaks my heart seeing how much TV can influence a person's behavior to thinking of this negative approach on people with disabilities. Also, it breaks my heart when people from both political parties don't want to help people with disabilities or don't even want to talk about helping people with disability rights when they face struggles. I try to do is limit how much news media I listen to, reduce watching crime drama shows that stereotype people with disabilities in a bad way, and to try to advocate the best as I can for people with disability rights, along with sharing my experience on the challenges of having a disability. Another challenge in society that I struggle with is being is when other people from different generations or different groups like Gen Z, millennials, older groups, and other diverse groups bully me and put me down for being different or having a disability. It's not easy to talk about the struggles in society when I get bullied from these different generations, including diverse groups, because I don't want to be judgmental or harsh on these groups. The reason why I don't want to be harsh on these generation groups or diverse groups is that many of them have different struggles in life. When it comes to figure out how to express the challenges of dealing with getting bullied or being put down from these groups, I try my best to say I wish that these groups could have the ability to have emotional intelligence, have a better understanding of people, including people with disabilities that have different struggles, and to be mindful of other people who are trying to do the best as they can in society when they face challenges. What I've learned about being a millennial with a disability is that it's very challenging to live in society due to different changes that we deal with in life and how bad politics, including people who use hate against people who are different, including people with disabilities, which affects me. The challenges in society, including my disability, is causing confusion, uncertainty, and severe depression. The only best thing that I can do when I struggle is to try to practice on the good principles of what does it mean to be a good person in life and in the work environment. The things I continue to work on despite challenges is to be kind to other people. Use critical thinking to understand different situations or to learn. Build better working relationships with coworkers, including bosses in a job settings. Save smart, spend smart approach to better budget on money. Be mindful of other people that I'm around. Volunteer to help give back to the community, and many others. Also, when it comes to communication, many people should be open minded on using different ways to communicate with people, like phone, text, email, or other messaging apps when social media messaging isn't a right fit for a lot of people like me. I encourage Gen Z, millennials, older groups, and different diverse groups to be kind to other people, especially people with disabilities. Be appreciative of people who are trying their best to do good when the world is hard. And be compassionate, including understanding of people that have struggles in life. In social media, many people should be kind and appreciative of other people when they are diverse in different ways or have creativity or wanting to do good. When it comes to diversity, equity, and inclusion, people should be willing to accept people with disabilities into the conversation while address the need to reduce discrimination.